XFM News on point.
News on XFM. I'm Chris or Tim. The National Physical Planning Board has threatened to demolish buildings in road reserves and wetlands. The acting chairman of the board, Amanda Ingabirano, says many people have erected buildings without approved plans. Amanda adds that owners of the buildings and private houses will be required to paint them, and failure to do so will attract a fine not exceeding 2 million Uganda shillings or imprisonment of 2 years upon eviction. She says littering will also attract a fine of not more than 2 million Uganda shillings or imprisonment not exceeding 2 years.
So we want to assure you that the board is not going to sleep, but ensure that littering is addressed. And we also met the Chief Justice and requested that once these offences appear before the law, they should be handled expeditiously so that everybody stops the habit. But also we are going to do radio and TV sensitization of people to start learning how to dispose of their rubbish, to stop littering. In the long term, that's more sustainable, but we are going to actually engage on the ground and stop the littering. Painting, it will be upon the business owner, the premise, buy the paint, because an ugly building makes the whole area look ugly. And remember, physical planning is done in public interest, not individual interest.
The Center for Constitutional Governance Executive Director Sarah Birete has faulted the statement by the National NGO Bureau on the legality of CSO's consortium UU. The NGO Bureau last week asked CSOs to register their coalition before it can be accepted to observe the elections. Birete challenges the NGO Bureau to quote the law under which it queries the legality of the NGO's loose coalition UU formed to observe the elections next year in 2021.
Beyond COVID pandemic, we have a lot of pandemics that are affecting citizens' participation as they prepare to elect their leaders for the next 5 years. There is no provision in the NGO Act that provides for registration of loose coalitions. They cannot mention any section of the law that requires citizens in this country or civil society organizations for that matter to register loose coalitions. It does not exist.
In technology news, WhatsApp is introducing a disappearing messages option that will erase chats from the phone of both the sender and the recipient after 7 days. The Facebook-owned app, which has 2 billion users worldwide, said the setting would help keep chats private, but it said the recipients would still be able to screenshot or forward any messages, photos, or videos that they wanted to keep. The option will appear for WhatsApp users by the end of this month of November. In a blog, the company said messages could be set to expire after 7 days to offer peace of mind that conversations aren't permanent while remaining practical so that you don't forget what you are chatting about. In April of 2019, Facebook chief executive Mark Zuckerberg pledged to make several changes to the social network to offer the users more privacy. The company also hopes to integrate its messaging platforms, making WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger interoperable. In world news, U.S. presidential election news, U.S. President Donald Trump has accused Democrats of voting shenanigans as the result from Tuesday's White House election hangs in the balance. His Democratic challenger Joe Biden earlier appealed for calm as the nail-biting count drags on in 5 states. While clinging to water-thin leads in Nevada and Arizona, Mr. Biden has been chewing into the Republican president's edge in Pennsylvania and Georgia. The cliffhanger follows one of the biggest, bitterest campaigns in living memory. The election is projected to have generated the highest turnout since 1900. Mr. Biden has so far pulled in well over 73 million votes, the most ever for a U.S. presidential candidate. Mr. Trump has drawn almost 70 million, the second highest tally in history. So as it is from the official results, they do place Mr. Joe Biden with 253 electoral college votes, while Mr. Trump is on 214 electoral college votes. Now counting is going on in key states, and this is after 44 of the 50 states in the United States of America. In sports, Mikel Arteta has called for the introduction of the video assistant referee in Europa League group games, despite Arsenal running out comfortable winners against Molde. The Gunners reached the halfway point of Group B with a 100% winning record, courtesy of a solid 4-1 victory in action from last night. Arsenal did get the goals through 2 own goals from Molde, while Pepe and Willock did score for the Gunners, scoring in the second successive Europa League game for Arsenal as they beat Molde by 4-1 on the night. Now, in some other games in the Europa League played last night, Roma did beat CFR Cluj by 5-0, while Tottenham Hotspur won 3-1 against Ludogorets in their game played last night. And that's the latest XFM News.
XFM News on point.